Before we begin, just a quick heads up. This video contains sensitive material and may not be suitable for everyone. Everything you're about to hear comes straight from official courtroom records. These are the exact opening statements made by both the prosecution and defense during Diddy's federal trial on May 12, 2025. Some parts have been lightly censored to stay within YouTube's guidelines. The source is a verified courtroom reporter from Inner City Press, and of course, everyone mentioned in this trial is presumed innocent until proven guilty. Watch at your own discretion. In a federal courtroom in Manhattan during one of the most closely watched trials in entertainment history, Assistant U.S. Attorney Christopher LaVigne stood up and he did not hold back. For those who don't know, Christopher LaVigne is the Assistant U.S. Attorney leading the case against Diddy. He's the government prosecutor laying out all the charges in court. He delivered the full opening statement against Diddy, and what he laid out was beyond anything we've heard in headlines.
Okay, for now, focus here for a minute. Don't worry, their drama will keep going on. Think a little about yourself too. An Indonesian scientist has uncovered a shocking truth about belly fat, and it has nothing to do with diet or exercise. 95% of people who tried this strange bedtime ritual lost 25 pounds or more. Some even dropped over 50, all while sleeping. No gym, no starving, just one simple step before bed. It sounds crazy, but it's backed by science. Tap the link in the description and see for yourself.
This wasn't just about drama or relationships. According to him, this was about 20 years of abuse, manipulation, violence, and control, all covered up by power and fame. And that was just one side of the story, because when Diddy's lawyer responded, the defense painted a completely different picture, calling it all a twisted love story, not a crime. In this video, we're breaking down exactly what both sides said in court. No rumors, no gossip, just the full breakdown of what was said when this trial officially kicked off. Let's get into it. The courtroom was silent when Assistant U.S. Attorney Christopher LaVigne stepped forward. Then he said, "This isn't about a celebrity's personal life. This is about 20 years of criminal behavior." And just like that, the tone was set. LaVigne told the jury this case wasn't about fame or relationships. It was about power, control, and the crimes that allegedly came with it. According to the prosecution, Diddy used his influence, his team, and his image to build something far darker than anyone on the outside could see. They described one night in particular. Diddy found out Cassie Ventura was with another man. What happened next, they said, was brutal. He allegedly forced her to have sex with male escorts while he watched and recorded. When she tried to resist, he beat her, kicking her, dragging her, and threatened to release the videos if she didn't listen. And according to LaVigne, this wasn't a one-time thing. He said this pattern of abuse went on for years with different women, different cities, but the same methods: violence, blackmail, silence. And the people around Diddy, they didn't just know, they helped make it happen. And that, the prosecutor said, was just the beginning. After laying out what happened to Cassie, the prosecution zoomed out. And that's when things got even darker. According to LaVigne, Diddy didn't act alone. He had a full system behind him. A team, bodyguards, assistants, drivers, even chefs, people who weren't just helping run his business, but also helping him cover up his crimes. They said his staff would set up hotel rooms with specific lighting and supplies. They'd carry envelopes filled with cash. They'd deliver drugs, not just to him, but to the women he allegedly forced into these so-called freak-offs. Some of these women, they said, were transported across state lines. Some across countries. The prosecutor made it clear this wasn't just about bad choices. It was organized. It was planned. And according to them, it was criminal. They also said the abuse wasn't limited to Cassie. There was another woman, Jane, a single mother who they claimed went through similar things. She thought she was in love, but what she walked into, the prosecutor said, was the same playbook: manipulation, threats, and pressure to perform. The message from the prosecution was loud and clear. This wasn't a personal story gone wrong. This was a setup, and it ran deep. She was a single mother who met Diddy in 2020. At first, she thought it was love. He was charming, successful, and promised her something real. But according to the prosecution, that dream quickly turned into a nightmare. It started with what he called a freak-off. LaVigne said Diddy took her to a hotel and told her exactly what to do, step by step. Jane thought it was a one-time thing, but it wasn't. It kept happening. Over time, the prosecutor said Diddy pressured her into using so she could get through the nights. She tried to resist. She even got sick, once vomiting in the middle of an event. But he didn't stop. He told her to go back in and finish. Eventually, she tried to take back some control. She picked 2 men on her own, hoping that if she had to be involved in one of these encounters, at least she could choose who it would be with. But even that was taken from her. Diddy allegedly forced her back into his world and reminded her who held the power. And when she tried to walk away, the threats came fast. LaVigne told the jury about a night when Diddy showed up at her house, furious. He kicked in her bedroom door, her bathroom door, even the closet, chasing her through her own home. Then he ordered her to call an escort and perform. And she did, because according to the prosecution, saying no was never an option. After laying out what happened to Cassie and Jane, LaVigne turned the spotlight to the people around Diddy. He told the jury this wasn't just about what Diddy did. It was about how far his team went to keep it hidden. According to the prosecution, staff members helped set up the freak-off events, from booking hotels and prepping rooms with lube and lighting to delivering drugs and cash directly to the women involved. They didn't just work for him, they followed his orders, no questions asked. And when things got messy, they cleaned it up. LaVigne said one hotel security guard in Los Angeles was handed a brown paper bag. Inside was $100,000, 0 cents in cash. Why? To make security footage disappear. Footage that allegedly showed Diddy dragging Cassie during one of those nights. That same inner circle reportedly helped hide Cassie after violent incidents. They told staff to stay quiet. They even made people sign agreements promising they'd never talk. But it wasn't just silence. The prosecutor said they also tracked women down if they tried to run. Jane, for example, tried to escape, only to be found and pressured back into submission. The picture LaVigne painted was clear. Diddy wasn't acting alone. He had people helping him protect the image while hiding the damage. After laying out all the accusations, LaVigne told the jury one thing loud and clear. They weren't just going to hear stories, they were going to see proof. Said the government has videos, text messages, receipts, hotel logs, and physical evidence. And it all points to one thing. This wasn't just rumor, it was real. The jury is expected to see hotel records showing who stayed where and when. They'll see car service logs and receipts for damage inside hotel rooms, texts from Diddy to his team, asking them to bring drugs or cash for escorts, even messages where Jane said she didn't want to go through with another freak-off. And there are the videos. According to LaVigne, jurors will see footage of Diddy allegedly directing both Cassie and Jane during these events while they were high. There's also video of him physically attacking Cassie at a hotel in LA. That same hotel, the one where security was allegedly bribed with $100,000, 0 cents to make the tape disappear, but that's not all. Prosecutors say they also found guns, drugs, and other items, including a medical bag filled with substances in Diddy's home. Even the people around him left a trail. There are witnesses who signed NDAs and witnesses who've already received settlements, but now they're testifying. LaVigne's message was simple. This case isn't built on emotions, it's built on receipts, and they're ready to show every single one. After all that, it was the defense's turn. Diddy's lawyer, Tenny Geragos, stepped up and told the jury flat out, this isn't a crime, it's a relationship story. He said the government was trying to turn personal drama into a federal case. According to him, this wasn't about trafficking or conspiracy, it was about love, jealousy, and messy breakups being twisted into something criminal. He admitted Diddy had flaws, that he could be jealous, that he could lie and sometimes get angry, but he said that doesn't make someone a racketeer. Geragos told the jury to look at the full picture. Cassie stayed with Diddy for 11 years. Jane flew out to see him even after fights. These women weren't trapped, he said. They had choices, and they stayed because they wanted the lifestyle, the love, or the connection, not because they were being controlled. The defense said many of the messages from Cassie and Jane would show they were willing participants, that they sent flirty texts, that they arranged meetups, that even some of the freak-offs were on their phones, not Diddy's. And when it came to the staff, Geragos argued these were educated, hardworking people from Harvard to Howard who weren't part of any conspiracy. They were just doing their jobs. As for the bribes, he said Diddy paid a hotel guard $100,000, 0 cents, not to hide a crime, but to protect his reputation. And Cassie's too. His final message to the jury, don't get caught up in the headlines. Stick to the law. If you do, you'll see Diddy isn't guilty. One of the biggest points Diddy's lawyer focused on, Cassie stayed. Tenny Geragos told the jury that Cassie and Diddy were in a relationship for 11 years. 11. And that matters. According to the defense, this wasn't a woman being held hostage. This was a woman who made a choice every single day to stay with him. They lived together, traveled together, even after fights, even after the infamous hotel hallway incident. Cassie didn't walk away. She stayed. Geragos said Cassie didn't just stay out of fear. She stayed because she loved him, because she wanted to be his wife. And even after their breakup, when Kim Porter passed away in 2018, Cassie still flew to Georgia to be by his side. The defense argued that this wasn't a case of control. It was a toxic relationship, yes, but a mutual one. Both of them had their issues, both cheated, both got jealous, but the prosecution was only telling one side. They even said Cassie's actions didn't line up with the story being told in court. She carried her own bags out of the hotel after the alleged abuse. She made career decisions. She moved on, got married, and is now starting a family. To the defense, that didn't look like someone who was trafficked or manipulated. That looked like someone who was hurt, maybe heartbroken, but still had control of her life. Their message, you can call it messy, you can call it unhealthy, but don't call it criminal. Once the defense finished talking about Cassie, they moved on to Jane and tried to flip the entire narrative. Tenny Geragos told the jury that Jane wasn't forced into anything. In fact, he said she wanted something deeper. She wanted love, commitment, and to be the one woman Diddy chose over all the others. He admitted things got messy, that there were fights, that emotions ran high. But according to him, that wasn't coercion. That was heartbreak. The defense described one night where Jane flew to see Diddy, brought an escort with her, and later called it one of the best nights of her life. They said she sent him emotional texts. She told him she missed him. Even after they fought, she kept coming back. Geragos also claimed Jane had her own motives. She wasn't just hurt, she was competing for a place in Diddy's life. She wanted to be the one, and when she felt pushed out by other women, that's when things turned. They even told the jury about an incident where Jane allegedly hit Diddy first, slammed his head into a kitchen counter. But months later, she still flew out to see him again. The message was clear. This wasn't control. This was toxic love. And according to the defense, Jane's biggest struggle wasn't fear. It was not being in first place. To them, that wasn't a crime. That was a messy relationship that spiraled. After trying to discredit the emotional side of the case, Tenny Geragos went straight for the motive. He asked the jury, if all of this was so terrible, why didn't they speak up then? Why now? The defense argued that none of these women went to the police. Not when the events happened, not even years later. They only came forward after Cassie filed a lawsuit in November 2023, and that's when everything suddenly came out. Geragos pointed out that Cassie was living in her parents' home at the time, that she hired a civil lawyer, that she demanded $30 million, 0 cents. Another woman reportedly asked for $22 million, 0 cents. And just like that, more lawsuits followed. According to him, it wasn't justice they were after, it was money. He told the jury to think about how much these witnesses had to gain, how many millions of reasons they had to say what they were saying. He even questioned Mia, one of Diddy's former assistants, who never mentioned any of it until after she started cooperating with the government. In the defense's message, this isn't about doing the right thing. It's about taking down a famous man and cashing in. They painted a picture of betrayal, jealousy, and revenge dressed up as a federal case. And they wanted the jury to see right through it. After hours of back and forth, shocking claims, and emotional testimony, the courtroom settled into silence. And now it's in the jury's hands. EUSA Christopher LaVigne left them with a simple message: follow the law, use common sense. And if you do, the only possible verdict is guilty. He reminded them of the texts, the hotel videos, the staff testimonies, the money trails, the videos allegedly showing abuse. He said, this wasn't just about two women, it was about a system. about power used to control, to hurt, and to silence. But Diddy's lawyer, Tenny Geragos, wasn't backing down. He told the jury to ignore the headlines, to ignore the emotions. He said this case wasn't about a criminal operation. It was about messy love lives, bad decisions, and grown adults who made their own choices. Geragos reminded them, Diddy never married. He was in multiple relationships. He lied, he got jealous. But that doesn't make him a criminal, it just makes him human. Now, the jury has to decide, was this a man abusing his power? Or was this a celebrity caught in the chaos of his own private life? The trial has started, the evidence is coming, and the truth? It's now on the record. So guys, what do you think about Diddy's trial? We've heard both sides, the prosecution's shocking claims and the defense's version of events. Some of this sounds unbelievable, but all of it came straight from the courtroom. Now, I'm not taking sides here. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty, but I want to hear from you. What do you think about Diddy, about Cassie, about Jane? Do you believe the evidence will back up the claims, or is this just a personal mess that's been turned into a federal case? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading through all of them. And as always, stay tuned because this trial is just getting started.